democracy to his own companions too. What was? Angels were actually the companions of Allah Almighty then. And Allah Almighty gave them a right to give opinion. Similarly, Allah Almighty is asking Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to give the similar right to his companions, so that they can give opinion back to them, and that's how the Islam talks and suggests and give this idea is promoted, the democratic value and giving the opinion and giving respect to each other's opinion. That's what we call the democracy is. Now coming to the first four caliphates, the first 436.5 years of Islam, that is where we get all models for Islam, for Islamic civilization, the most refined, the most proper, the most successful models. That is the time from where we get each and everything as a guideline for the rest of the Muslims till the day of judgment. So if we see the first appointment of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala, the first Khalifa to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala. What was happening there? He was nominated by Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu in that council, in that meeting which was held in between Muhajirs and Ansar. So he was nominated by Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and still there was the soul of democracy was there. Like there were two representatives, and then there was a debate, and one representative sat in favor of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and then he was unanimously elected as a Khalifatul Muslimin. So there was a soul of democracy lying with the first appointment of the first Khalifa to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And then after the appointment, it was a general bay'at. What is bay'at? Bay'at is today's voting system. In those days, there was no ballot box, or there was no system of proper voting. As we are, it is an evolution process, and we are developing, the technologies are coming today. Like 10, 20, 15 years before, the system was like everybody has to go to the ballot box and they have to put the vote, the written thing. Now the things are changing, it is becoming more electronic. Similarly, in those days, there was no system of written ballots, or there was no system of electronic or anything. So the voting was done through bay'at, by giving hand into the hand of Khalifa. That was the voting. Like expressing your feeling that you have a faith in Khalifa, you have a faith in decision done by the council or whatever, or whosoever has taken that decision, you have a faith. So after the appointment of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that democratic right was exercised by the people of Medina Munawwara, the first state of Islam, and they did bay'ah, a general bay'ah of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. So that was the first appointment. Then the second appointment was Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, how he was appointed, he was nominated by the outgoing head of the state. Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu nominated Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala. And again, there was a soul of democracy lying with the appointment of even Abu Bakr, Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that there was a general bay'ah again, and the people gave their hand in the hand of Sayyidina Umar Farooq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and showed and expressed their feeling that they have a faith in that appointment. That was the second model. I will describe, what I mean by this model. So that was the second model, how that appointment was. And then there is a third model of Sayyidina Usmani Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He was appointed by a system in which there was general elections, that each and every citizen of state of Medina voted for the head of the state, the Khalifa. And what that is, today we can easily say that is a presidential system. So Sayyidina Usmani Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu became Khalifa in the following of presidential system. So the third Khalifa, or till the time when the third Khalifa came and became the head of the state, that was the presidential system in Islam. And when Sayyidina Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when he became the Khalifa, that was the parliamentary system. The most refined democratic system was utilized by the fourth Khalifatul Muslimin. And then the fifth Khalifa, Hazrat Sayyidina Hussain radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was again elected by the parliamentary system. So the last two Khalifas, in 5 Khalifas, last two were two were appointed through the parliamentary system, and the third Khalifa was appointed through the presidential system, and first two. So we have like 4 models here. As I have mentioned earlier, Islam has provided us the basic principles of Islam. If Islam would have given us a one specific model, then every would supposed to follow the same or similar model. But Islam has given us options. Even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself didn't appointed his Khalifa in his life, because he didn't wanted to bound and bind the people and Ummah, the Muslims, on one model. He wanted to give them the right so that whatever the time is, whatever the circumstances is, according to the circumstances, according to the needs, according to the culture, according to the values, according to the traditions, they can come up with their own model of selection for the head of the state. But Islam and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam provided the basic principles of democracy. How that has to be adopted, how that has to be followed, who is responsible, who is the person, or what are the characteristics of the head of the state, which each and every head of the state should have to become a head of the state. So these are the basic values which have been provided by Islam and Quran and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so we are having 4 different models, democratic, political and selection and appointing model here, which are basically utilizing the same democratic value principles. So which gives us the right that in every time, in every era, it is not about any one model. It is about just the principles of democracy provided by Islam. By utilizing those principles, in every time period, we can always come up with any suitable political model in the society. That is the important point here. So when people say Khilafah, so now that definition is changed now. What Khilafah they are talking about. Now, the first model was the appointment model. The second was the nominating model. The third was the presidential model. And the fourth was the parliamentary model. Now, the fourth model, the 4 of all models can be Khalifa. What exactly the Khalifa is? Khalifa is Naib of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And by saying Naib of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and by saying he is actually the Ameen of those, he is actually the Ameen of that Amana given by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And by saying that if he is Ameen, what he has to do or what he is supposed to do, that whatever is there, whatever the property is there, whatever the country is there, the people, the public, each and everything belongs to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Allah Almighty. So he is Ameen. They have trusted on him. And each and every Khalifa, he has a dual responsibility. One hand, he has been elected and selected by the public. So he has responsibility, he owes responsibility towards the public. On other hand, he is actually Khalifa and Naib of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he is representative of them too. So he is having both responsibilities. He is representing in his place the general public, their feelings, their desires, their needs, their demands. On other hand, he is also representing the Khilafah. He is also representing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the preaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is also representing the preaching of Quran. He is also representing Allah Almighty there. So now he has to balance things between public and the Sharia, the law provided by Allah Almighty and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And when somebody is Khalifa, he has to be pious, he has to be responsible, he has to be in the line and following of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has to be in ittiba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then he is not expected to be corrupt, he is not expected to be financially corrupt, he is not expected to be morally corrupt, he is not expected to be unethical, unreligious, he is not expected to be on these lines. Because he is Khalifatul Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is representing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his place. So these are the duties. So if we can see such good values in a nominatory system, so we can say that nomination is the Khalifa.